Who's from Georgia? Welcome. You get an award. You get the distance award. Last question. Which statement best describes your perspective on Turning Point? You're thinking about using it, but you don't know. But you don't use it already. Or, number 2, you occasionally use it. 3, you regularly use it. 4, you'd consider yourself a power user, meaning you're always looking for new ways to push the envelope and do more things and innovative things. Which best describes your approach, your current relationship with Turning Point? Wow, very interesting. A fifth of you are power users. Nearly half of you are thinking about it, but not there yet. Well, hopefully we'll have content throughout this conference that will be beneficial for the entire range of attendees here. Okay, I was asked, again, to talk about a little bit about the history and the future of response technology. And I'm reminded of a presentation I did, probably 3 years ago now, before a group of state-level legislators. I'm not going to say the state because I've got a negative comment to make about it, but it wasn't Illinois or Ohio. But I did a presentation on Turning Point, and they were considering a K-12 laptop initiative where they were looking to, on a select basis, fund the ability for schools to put wireless laptops in the hands of students. We have a product that works, VPad, that works on laptops. And I did a presentation as to how the technology could be used. And the Speaker of the House made a comment at the end of the presentation. He was obviously very excited, but he made a comment that said, "Gosh, this is the kind of thing that can turn our planned technology initiative into a real learning initiative." And my first thought was, duh. But my second thought was, gosh, how many are frustrated by the whole history over the last 10 to 15 years of technology for technology's sake? And how bad that has been in many cases. We got to be wireless. We got to have Wi-Fi. We've got to do all this. And why? Well, we can access the internet. Well, you know what? We can share a printer. But how is that going to help learning? How's that going to help learning? As I look at the history of our products, our company, the technology in general, and more importantly, as I look at the future, that's the operative question. How is this going to affect learning? How is this going to help educators facilitate more learning in the classroom? How is it going to help students do better? How is it going to help students get higher test scores? How is it going to help universities and schools retain students in the classroom and not lose them because they wash out or whatever? How is it going to enhance learning in the classroom? That is, more than anything else, in my mind, the driving force for the future of Turning Point or educational technology in general. Classroom response systems have been around for a long time. 1960s, the first systems came out. They were wired, and they weren't digital computer, they were electric, and there was a little light panel that lit up either on the screen or behind the speaker or on the podium. That there were red lights and green lights, and if it was more green, yes, more red, no. And they were used for gathering opinions. And so the technology isn't new. 1980s, the wired first computerized systems came out, and they were wired, and they had to be plugged together with like telephone wires, and more often than not, they were daisy chained. So like your Christmas lights, if one went out, well, you had to go find the one that was bad because they all went out. It's amazing how the world has changed in our arena. In 1990, the first radio frequency wireless device came out. That changed everything because now now you could communicate wirelessly and they were fairly reliable. But I told someone this morning that I was involved in developing one of the first classroom response systems in the corporate arena in 1990, and I can tell you that the cost was about $1,000 a seat at that time. Not a product that worked in the university realm or in K-12 for that matter. Very expensive, very accessible only to real innovators that had really deep pockets. Wireless came out. Today, it's what you have around your neck. Response cards, TurningPoint, current generation, you're going to hear a lot about it over the next day or so and hopefully talk a lot about it, so I'm not going to talk about it much. But I am going to talk about tomorrow, where this thing is going, what's coming up. First thing I want to do is tell you that you're about to see what nobody in the world has ever seen, other than our limited group of our design team. At 2 o'clock this morning, I got an email that I wasn't awake, but when I woke up, I saw it, that included this picture, and it is the next generation TurningPoint response card that we're calling Response Card XR. And so, yeah, it's kind of an unusual situation, but yeah, this is the public introduction to Response Card XR, which we think is not going to replace this device, but round out our available device options as the premier device in the industry from a capability standpoint. Response Card XR, there it is. An LCD device, all the capabilities of the current device, radio frequency, lots of other capabilities, including being able to store student information, being able to, from a store student information perspective, a student's going to be able to enter their student ID information in there, come into class, press a button, and be part of that class and participant list. You won't ever have to create another participant list. Is that a good thing? I knew that one might get a few smiles. I've been at the end of several phone calls in that area. The participant list issue, the multiple digit decimals, numeric values, to be able to use it in the maths and sciences in the ways we're hearing all the time that people want to be able to use it from that perspective. Still, response card form factor, small, convenient, easy to use. I regularly do presentations, and when I go stand in front of a group of people, one of the things I usually do is that, because we've said to R&D over and over again that if I can't throw it across the room, it doesn't work in education. Because students will. Students will. And this one's going to match the durability and the capability and the simplicity and ease of use of that and have exponentially more capabilities and features. It is in manufacturing today. It is, we're expecting to have a couple of limited beta sites out within the next couple of months, actually using it within the next 60 days. We expect to be shipping nationwide for fall term 2007-08 school year. Lots more information will come about that, but we're extremely proud of this next generation device and where it's going. And I'm privileged to be able to introduce it to you. So what else is happening in the area of response systems tomorrow? You saw the Response Card XR. Additionally, this summer for fall delivery, the next generation of TurningPoint. There was one and only one primary driver in the design and creation of the next generation of TurningPoint software, and that was usability, ease of use. Thomson Learning, about a year ago, less than a year ago, did a survey nationwide of response system users. And what was the most important thing to them, to you?